I spotted my husband, Ethan Carter, walking slowly down Maple Street, holding hands with his childhood sweetheart, Luna Moore. I followed behind them, feeling more like the secret mistress than Luna. Luna's voice dripped with sweetness. Ethan, you spend so much time with me. Won't your wife get mad? Ethan's tone was his usual cold, dismissive self. Her, he scoffed. She'll never find out. With my brother Aiden keeping her company at home, she's probably too touched to suspect a thing. Luna leaned softly against him. You're so smart, Ethan. Getting your twin to take your place? Genius. Yes, genius indeed. But I'd known all along. Not only that, I turned our nominal brother-in-law and sister-in-law relationship into something real. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. The buzz of a phone shattered the post-intimacy warmth. He just whispered scorching oaths in my ear, his strong arms still wrapped around me. Our breaths tangled. I turned my head, glancing at the glowing screen on the nightstand. Your phone, I murmured, my voice still lazy and hoarse. Aiden frowned, the tenderness in his eyes replaced by irritation. He pressed a kiss to my forehead, gently tucked the covers around me, and strode to the balcony, seething. What is it? His voice, lowered through the glass door, carried his frustration. I slipped out of bed barefoot and stood silently behind the door. On the other end, Ethan's voice was as arrogant and detached as ever. Grandma's 90th birthday is tomorrow. It's time to switch back. Switch back. Ethan said it so casually, but I saw Aiden's hand tighten around the balcony railing, his veins popping. We look identical. I can just show up. No need for this nonsense, he said, his voice trembling slightly, almost pleading. Ha! Grandma isn't as stupid as Sophia, Ethan sneered. She'll see right through you. Besides, you're just my substitute. You don't belong at a family event like this. Substitute. The man on the balcony froze, his back straight as a statue, yet hollow, crumbling under the insult. Just then, Luna's playful voice cut in. Ethan, don't be so mean. Aiden works so hard. She cooed. She paused, her tone sharpening. But honestly, your wife is so dumb. 5 years and she still can't tell you two apart. Unlike me, I've been able to spot you at a glance since we were kids. Let's be real, you could hire some random person, pay for plastic surgery to look like us, and she'd still be grateful to be his wife. Luna, shut up. 2 shouts, one from Ethan on the phone, one from Aiden in front of me. I leaned against the cold wall, recalling that day when I was 16. Grandma Carter, the woman who'd kept the Carter empire afloat after Grandpa's death, had publicly accused Luna of being manipulative at a young age. Then she'd taken my hand and announced my engagement to Ethan. I'd been so giddy about my childhood crush coming true that I'd missed the sharpness in her eyes. Aiden slammed the phone down. The balcony fell silent. He stood with his back to me, his shoulders heaving. The air was thick with tension. My throat felt dry. I turned to get a glass of water, only to fumble, the glass shattering at my feet with a loud crash. In the quiet night, the sound echoed, "Don't move." Aiden rushed in, lifted me into his arms, and laid me gently back on the bed. Did you hurt yourself? He knelt, his large hands checking my feet frantically, his eyes filled with anxious concern. I shook my head, reaching up to trace his features. He had the same face as Ethan, but they were nothing alike. Ethan's eyes held a cold, distant indifference. Aiden's eyes blazed with a passion that could consume me. My fingers teased his brow bone, his straight nose, and finally his tightly pressed lips. His breath hitched, the fire in his eyes burning brighter. He grabbed my hand, his voice rough. Don't tease me. I giggled, leaning close to whisper in his ear, my voice clear and deliberate. Ethan, I said, using his brother's name, let's have a baby. His body went rigid, his pupils constricting in disbelief. That night, I fell into a deep sleep, filled with dreams. The most vivid one was about a video, sent to me 5 years earlier by an anonymous Instagram account. I'd been planning our wedding, just 3 days away, when a follow request popped up. The message read, "Want to see your fiancé's true colors?" I accepted. The account sent a video without hesitation. In a glitzy nightclub VIP room, Luna cried uncontrollably, clinging to Ethan. She slurred accusations at me, screaming that I'd stolen her boyfriend. Why her? Why does she get to marry you? Just because Grandma said so. I've been by your side since we were kids. Everyone said we were perfect together, so why her? She sobbed, gasping for air. Ethan, I don't care. I don't care. If you marry her, you have to date me for 5 years while you're married. It's the least you owe me. At the absurd demand, Aiden, who'd been in the video too, frowned in disgust. Luna, are you insane? He stood up and left. No hesitation. But my fiancé, Ethan, had held Luna in his arms, his eyes full of sympathy. Okay, Luna, don't cry. I promise. I'll do anything for you. The video ended abruptly. The stranger sent one more message. Call off the wedding before you ruin your life. I stared at my phone, my fingers icy. I couldn't call off the wedding. My startup was on the brink of collapse. We needed the Carter family's investment to survive. I had to seize this chance. So the wedding went on as planned. But on our wedding day, Ethan got a call from his sweetheart, Luna, drunk out of her mind, cried that she was on a rooftop and needed him. Ethan glanced at me. I pretended not to notice, smiling as I greeted guests. That night, when the bedroom door opened, it was Aiden who walked in. He wore a sharp suit, his expression restrained and conflicted, but I smiled, walking toward him, standing on my tiptoes to kiss him first. From that day on, the man by my side was sometimes Ethan, sometimes Aiden, but most of the time, it was Aiden. The twins were easy to tell apart. Ethan never touched me, his gaze always cold. Aiden was gentle and attentive. He remembered my favorite foods, made me ginger tea during my period, and fumbled to blow dry my hair. He was also more stubborn, obsessed with making me say I loved him, over and over. On nights he'd loved me thoroughly. As I drifted off to sleep, I'd hear him whisper, "Sophia, when you said you loved me today, did you ever say that to Ethan?" He was almost desperate to know how much I'd loved his brother. "Sophia, if you knew the truth all along, why didn't you leave?" By dawn, his side of the bed was cold. I dressed slowly and went downstairs, spotting the familiar black Bentley, and Luna, smiling brightly in the passenger seat. She rolled down the window, waving at me in a high-pitched voice. "Sophia, it's sunny out, hurry and get in." She feigned distress, patting her seat. "Ethan said this spot has the best view, so he made me sit here. You won't be mad, right?" Ethan stared straight ahead, his tone flat. "It's just a seat. Anywhere is fine." Luna grinned triumphantly, like she'd won. I opened the back door and slid in. "Ethan," I said lazily, leaning against the seat and addressing the back of his head. "Did you figure out the gift you promised me last night?" The car went silent. Gasp. Luna sucked in her breath. "Sophia, did you two sleep together last night?" Ethan's back stiffened. "I'll take you shopping after the party," he said gruffly, as if holding back anger. I smiled, resting my hand on his seat, my tone warm and wifely. "The gift can wait, but you should drink less today. We're trying for a baby, remember?" Screech. The car skidded to a halt, swerving almost into the guardrail. Ethan gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white. After a few seconds, he composed himself, his voice heavy as stone. "Yeah. Wow, that's amazing." Luna clapped her hands, her eyes mocking. The car pulled up to the Carter family estate. It was bustling with guests. I spotted Aiden immediately, wearing an elegant suit, chatting with people over a glass of wine. He looked warm and refined. When he saw me, he walked over, shaking my hand like a stranger. "Sister-in-law," he said, his voice soft enough to melt. My heart skipped a beat before I could reply. "Oh no." Luna accidentally pulled her foot back, gasping. A maid carrying a tray stumbled toward me, spilling a full tray of red wine all over my light-colored dress. "What the hell?" Ethan frowned, snapping at the maid. He glanced at me, his eyes filled with disgust. "You're a mess. Go change. Brother, come with me." He dragged Aiden upstairs, leaving me, and humiliated, to clean up the mess. Luna pretended to dab at my dress with a tissue, her eyes red with fake tears. "I'm so sorry, Sophia. It's all my fault. I remembered when we were kids. At the estate, someone spilled soup on me. Back then, Ethan and Aiden both protected me." She sniffled, her voice breaking. "Why are they so different now? I'm so sorry on their behalf. Please don't be mad." Watching her textbook manipulative act, I couldn't help but laugh. "You did this, and you're apologizing." I pushed her hand away coldly and walked off. A maid followed, bowing. "Madam, the eldest master asked me to take you to a guest room to change." I followed her into an empty room. As soon as the door closed, an anonymous Instagram call popped up. It was the same account that had sent me the video 5 years earlier. My heart raced as I answered. Ethan's voice, thick with anger, came through. "Trying for a baby. Brother, you better explain. Did you touch her?" Aiden's voice was still gentle, but with a reckless edge. "Do you really care? Even if I did, so what? Isn't that what you want? You can finally be with Luna openly, instead of sneaking around like this." "Shut up," Ethan roared. "My thing with Luna was just a childhood game. We agreed on 5 years. After that, I was going to be good to Sophia. A game. Be good to me." So in his eyes, I was just an object to reclaim once his 5-year game was over. I leaned against the cold door, almost laughing out loud. I grabbed my phone, sending all the divorce documents to my firm's top lawyer. Soon, I wouldn't be Mrs. Carter anymore. Good luck with your life, Ethan. By the time I changed, the party was winding down, guests leaving in groups. Ethan stood at the door, his face dark, his eyes a jumble of emotions when he saw me. "Let's go. I'll take you to pick out your gift," he said stiffly. Before I could answer, Luna linked her arm through his, pulling him aside. "Ethan, my head is spinning. I think I drank too much. Can you take me home first?" She pressed her body against him, her eyes provocative, as she stared at me. Ethan frowned, but I promised Sophia. Luna lowered her voice. Aiden's still here. She can't tell the difference. Let him take her. He relented, giving Aiden a look across the room before excusing himself to the bathroom. Seconds later, the face identical to Ethan's appeared in front of me. Let's go. Where do you want to shop? He smiled, his eyes crinkling. I shook my head, staring at him, suddenly feeling bitter. In the car, as soon as he sat in the driver's seat, he leaned over, his warm lips, familiar and loving, reaching for mine. I turned my head instinctively, his kiss landing on the cold window. The car went silent. He froze, the fire in his eyes dying down, replaced by hurt and confusion. What's wrong, Sophia? He asked carefully. Did someone upset you? I said nothing. He sighed, pulling a necklace out of nowhere. I didn't break my promise. Here's your gift. I let him fasten it around my neck. My mood low. He started the car again. If you're not feeling up to shopping, we'll just drive around. The car headed toward the coast, the salty sea breeze blowing through the windows, tangling my hair. He turned on my favorite old song, but I couldn't listen. The next day, I met my lawyer at a cafe. Ms. Bennett, with the evidence you provided, Mr. Carter's infidelity and fraud, you'll have a clear advantage in the divorce settlement. He analyzed calmly. I nodded, pushing the signed paperwork across the table. Thank you. After the lawyer left, I picked up my cold coffee, only to see a familiar figure walk in. Aiden. He walked straight toward me, smiling like the sun. I knew I'd find you here. My heart raced, instinctively covering the draft divorce papers under a magazine. His gaze lingered on the magazine, his eyes narrowing, hiding something. Nothing, I said flatly. He leaned down, trying to kiss me again. I dodged. He froze, looking like a rejected puppy, sitting across from me dejectedly. Still mad about me teasing you yesterday? He asked tentatively. I shook my head. He took it as denial, grinning and leaning in. Don't be mad. I'll take you to the movies. There's a new blockbuster out. You'll love it. The theater was empty on a weekday. Just the two of us in the large auditorium. The lights dimmed, and the screen lit up. As we settled in, a high-pitched voice echoed from the back row, clear in the silence. Ethan, the couple's combo you bought only has one popcorn. Where's mine? My body went rigid. I turned slowly. In the dark, Luna leaned against Ethan, wearing matching couple hoodies, same design, different colors. Ethan noticed us too. His lips moved, panic flickering in his usually calm eyes. He tried to speak, but Aiden acted first. His warm hand found mine, lacing our fingers together firmly. Let go. Ethan's anger flared. His voice gritted through his teeth. Brother, Aiden said lazily, leaning back in his seat. He even picked up a piece of popcorn, feeding it to me gently. No need to yell. This is a theater. Keep it down. He emphasized the word brother, his tone playful as he glanced between Ethan and Luna. When did you two get together? You should have told the family. Don't forget to send us an invitation to the wedding. He stressed us, making it clear. Ethan's face turned black in the screen's flickering light. Sophia, can I sit next to you? Luna suddenly stood up, her voice sweet. Before I could answer, she slid into the seat beside me. The movie was good, but I couldn't focus, not with Luna next to me. She pretended to be scared, burying herself in Ethan's arms. Then she picked up her soda, insisting on sharing a straw with him. Ethan, look at my new nails. Aren't they pretty? Ethan, your hoodie is the same as mine. We're a couple. But Ethan's eyes were fixed on me, watching Aiden unwrap a candy and feed it to me gently. Watching Aiden wipe popcorn crumbs from with a tissue. His face grew darker and darker. Luna noticed, her eyes turning. She said softly, Sophia, are you really trying for a baby? No. Yes. Two voices spoke at once. Ethan blurted out the denial, looking embarrassed when he realized his mistake. Aiden glanced at his brother, grinning. We're working on it. I'm really looking forward to our baby. Luna smiled sweetly. That's wonderful. By the way, next week is your 5th wedding anniversary with Ethan. Right. Sophia, have you thought about what gift you want from him? The question hung in the air, stirring tension between the four of us. I felt 3 pairs of eyes on me. I met Ethan's gaze, my voice quiet but clear. The gift doesn't matter. I just want Ethan to be there for me. In that moment, I saw Ethan's eyes light up, like sparks catching fire. But Aiden, beside me, grew cold. Luna, upset by my answer, threw a fit and dragged Ethan away early. Aiden and I stayed until the end. As soon as we got home, my wrist was grabbed. I was pinned against the cold wall. Aiden's face was inches from mine, his usually gentle eyes filled with obsessive madness. For our anniversary, how do you want me to be there for you? He leaned in, his hot breath brushing my ear, his voice rough and dangerous. Like this. His lips, filled with punishment, were about to crack crashed down on mine. Click. The living room lights flickered on, shattering the darkness. Ethan sat on the couch, his face stormy. He stood up slowly. Aiden, get out here. He pulled Aiden away from me, dragging him outside. I stood there, listening to muffled shouts and the thud of fists from downstairs. Soon, police sirens wailed in the distance. They'd been arrested for fighting. Hours later, the door unlocked. Ethan came back alone. His lip was split, his cheek bruised, his white shirt wrinkled and dusty. He walked toward me, his eyes no longer cold, instead, filled with hurt. Sophia, he said quietly. He seemed to be waiting for me to care, to comfort him, but I just looked at him, my voice flat. Go to bed. I cleaned up the guest room for you. He stared at me in disbelief, his eyes wide with shock. Ethan moved into the guest room, but for weeks after, he followed me everywhere, like a shadow. He tried, clumsily, to be like Aiden, making me breakfast, heating my milk, watching me expectantly. I ate silently, putting down my chopsticks. I'm full. The light in his eyes faded. Then he perked up, following me closely. That night, he blocked the master bedroom door. Sophia, he said hoarsely, his tone awkwardly ingratiating. I'm on my period. I lied, stepping around him to close the door, but he held it open, squeezing in. I won't do anything. Just let me hold you to sleep, please. Looking at his face, identical to Aiden's, I felt a surge of revulsion. In the end, I gave in. He lay beside me, his strong arms wrapping around me gently, like holding a lost treasure. Sophia, let's start over, he whispered. I'll take you to Provence to see lavender, to Hokkaido to see snow. We'll make up for everything we missed. He rambled on, planning our future, his voice filled with sincere longing. I closed my eyes, a soulless doll in his arms. Lying awake all night, I heard his mumbled dreams. Sophia, anniversary, surprise. Don't be mad. I just want you. Our 5th wedding anniversary arrived quickly. My phone dinged. Ethan had sent a hotel address. Sophia, I prepared a surprise for you here. Come soon. I stared at the message, not replying. Instead, I took the divorce papers I'd prepared and placed them prominently by the door. Then I took a taxi to the hospital. A few weeks earlier, I decided I wanted a baby. My first time trying with Aiden. I'd gotten pregnant. As I tucked the pregnancy test into my bag, the anonymous Instagram account called again. I answered. The video showed a romantic ballroom, roses, balloons, a champagne tower, a huge banner read, "Happy 5th anniversary, Sophia." Ethan, and my husband, Ethan, was being dragged by Luna. I won't let you go. Luna cried, her makeup smudged. You can't just leave me. Aiden's still with her. She won't know the difference. I only have you. Ethan, make her wait. She's so stupid. She'll never find out. Stay with me, please. In the video, Ethan looked conflicted, then annoyed, but finally, he looked at Luna, sobbing in his arms, and gave in. He closed his eyes tiredly, his voice hoarse. Okay. Listening to that single word, I felt nothing. I even had the nerve to mouth a fool at Luna through the screen. I hung up. I knew who the anonymous account belonged to. Of course. I took a photo of the pregnancy test and sent it to him. His call came immediately. Frantic. Sophia, whose baby is this? Aiden's voice cracked with excitement. I smiled, teasing. Mr. Carter, who do you think it is? Silence. I could picture him, shocked, overjoyed, flustered at being exposed. At the same time, another call came in. Ethan. I hung up on Aiden and answered my husband's call. Sophia, what's with the divorce papers on the table? He shouted, his voice filled with disbelief. Stop being ridiculous. I know I made a mistake. Come to the hotel, and I'll explain. I have a surprise for you. A surprise? I interrupted, leaning against the cold hospital wall. Is it the surprise where Luna cried and begged you not to leave? He fell silent. After a moment, he pleaded, Sophia, that's all in the past. We can. Ethan. I cut him off, my voice emotionless. I'm pregnant. You know who the father is. It's over between us. I hung up, blocking all his contacts. Finally, peace. I compiled all the evidence of Ethan and Luna's affair over the years, the videos, photos, and messages from the anonymous account, and sent them to Grandma Carter anonymously. Grandma was sharp, but she'd been blind to her grandson's arrogance. She'd mistaken his coldness for calm, never realizing he thought he could manipulate everyone. What happened next? I heard from others. Luna was shunned by high society. Grandma, in an act of mercy, sent her to work as a dishwasher in a foreign restaurant. Ethan, the once privileged heir, was stripped of all his shares and kicked out of the Carter group. He lost everything. As for me, my company, fueled by the Carter investment, was thriving. I thought my life would finally calm down, and I'd welcome my baby in peace. Until that night, when I worked late and walked out of the office, a black van pulled up suddenly. The doors flew open, and strong arms grabbed me, covering my mouth as I was dragged inside. I was taken to a remote private clinic. The strong smell of disinfectant made my stomach churn. A nurse in a mask walked over, holding a syringe filled with an unknown liquid. "What are you doing?" I struggled, but my hands and feet were pinned to the cold operating table. "Terminate the pregnancy," the nurse said, her voice robotic. Fear clamped down on my heart. "You can't do this," I screamed. "This is a Carter family baby. Hurt him, and the Carters will destroy you." The nurse hesitated. Just then, the operating room door creaked open. Ethan stepped out of the shadows. He'd lost weight, stubble covering his chin. His once arrogant eyes were filled with nothing but sorrow and despair. "Sophia," he smiled, a smile worse than crying. "I'm your husband." He stared at my flat stomach, his eyes burning with hatred and madness. "You never should have kept this baby, Sophia. It's a bastard. Sophia, get rid of it." He leaned down, the madness in his eyes replaced by plea. He took my hand gently, his voice, "Let's start over. I swear, I'll never see Luna again. I'll make up for the past 5 years. I'll throw you a new wedding, take you on a honeymoon, anywhere you want. Just get rid of this baby." I looked at him and laughed, laughing until tears streamed down my face. "Ethan, you're such a narcissist. What makes you think I'd want your leftover scraps?" I wrenched my hand free, slapping him as hard as I could. Slap. The sound echoed in the silent room. He turned his head, a bright red handprint forming on his cheek. Instead of anger, he slowly turned back, licking his split lip. Then he laughed. Wild, twisted, insane. "You hit me, Sophia. You still care about me, don't you?" His eyes lit up, like he'd discovered a secret. "You hate me because you love me. You can't let me go." He was crazy. "Do it," he said, the last of his sanity gone. He nodded at the nurse. The needle, cold and deadly, inched toward my skin. I closed my eyes in despair. Bang. The operating room door was kicked open. A dark figure rushed in, moving like the wind. Before I could see who it was, the nurse screamed as she was kicked flying. The syringe clattered to the floor. Then came the sound of Ethan being slammed against the wall. "Aiden." I opened my eyes, seeing the familiar face that always calmed me. His eyes were bloodshot, his face etched with panic and relief. His chest heaved. "Sophia, don't be scared. I'm here." He rushed over, gently untying me, pulling me into his arms. The familiar scent of cedar wrapped around me. My tense body went limp, and I fainted. When I woke up, I was in my bedroom. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, and the smell of porridge filled the air. I touched my stomach instinctively, my heart racing. "You're awake." Aiden walked in with a bowl of porridge, sitting beside me and feeling my forehead. "The baby's fine," he said, reading my fear. "The doctor said you're just shocked and need rest." I looked at the dark circles under his eyes. His suit still dusty. My heart ached. He spooned porridge into my mouth, blowing on it gently. "Maggie made your favorite preserved egg and lean meat porridge. Taste it." I opened my mouth, the warm porridge soothing my stomach. He fed me slowly, treating me like a precious treasure. When the bowl was empty, he pulled a small velvet box from behind his back. "What is it?" I asked. He opened it, revealing 2 tiny gold ankle bracelets shaped like baby feet. Cute and delicate. "A first gift for our baby." His gaze softened as it fell on my stomach, filled with deep love and longing. "Sophia." He held my hand, his voice solemn and sincere. "Thank you for bringing him into our lives." I looked at him, remembering the question I'd been meaning to ask. What happened to Ethan? The warmth in Aiden's eyes faded, replaced by cold anger. "Him." He smiled, but his eyes were icy. "The police arrested him." In court, I sat calmly on the plaintiff's bench, watching Ethan, even more haggard than he'd been at the clinic. With each charge my lawyer read, his face paled. He was no longer the arrogant Carter heir, just a broken man, enduring everyone's stares. When the lawyer presented the photos, videos, and surveillance footage of me being restrained at the clinic, the courtroom fell silent. Ethan's eyes locked on me, his once proud gaze now empty and desperate. He seemed to beg for even a hint of emotion from me, even hatred. But I gave him nothing. I just looked at the judge, waiting for the verdict. "Why won't you look at me?" he finally snapped. His voice, "Sophia, do you hate me that much?" I turned to him, a faint smile on my lips. "Ethan, it's not hate. You're just not worth it." Those 5 words shattered his last shred of dignity. He stood up, trying to rush toward me, but the bailiffs held him back. "Sophia, you can't do this to me. I'm your husband," he screamed, his voice ridiculous in the solemn courtroom. I shook my head. No, he wasn't. The judge's gavel fell, ending my 5 years of absurd marriage and Ethan's freedom. I didn't look back, walking out of the suffocating suffocating room, pushing open the heavy courtroom doors. Bright sunlight flooded over me. I took a deep breath of free air, warm and sunny, and there he was. Aiden leaned against a car nearby, wearing a simple white shirt and jeans, bathed in golden sunlight. He looked soft and peaceful. He didn't come closer, just watched me from afar, smiling gently. His eyes, always filled with love, were like a warm lake. When he saw me, his smile widened. He opened his arms, a silent invitation, a safe harbor, waiting for me. I smiled, truly smiled, placing my hand on my slightly swollen stomach. A new life, our future. I took a step forward, leaving behind all the darkness and pain. One step at a time, I walked toward my light. He caught me, holding me tightly, fiercely. The familiar scent of cedar wrapped around me, warm and reassuring. Is it over? He whispered in my ear, his voice trembling. I buried my face in his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat, and nodded. Yes, it's over. He kissed my forehead, a hot, sincere kiss. Sophia, his voice soft enough to melt. Let's go home. Thank you for reading today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more exciting stories. See you next time.